Everyone's here who's going to be here. Good evening, everyone. This is the Board of Trustees regular meeting. It's June 11th, 2019. It's 7:30 p.m. This is meeting number 2019-11. Please call the roll.
President Barry.
Here.
Trustee Stalker.
Here.
Here. Oops.
Trustee Olenichuk. Trustee Desmond.
Here.
Trustee Phelan.
Here.
Trustee Vorder.
Here.
Trustee Mallow.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thanks. Would everyone rise for the pledge, please?
United States
of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'm told we have no public comments. Is that correct?
Correct.
Thank you. Item 4, conflict of interest disclosure. Does anyone have a conflict to disclose with any item on today's agenda? Hearing none, we're going to move on to item 5, promotion of Oak Lawn Fire Department personnel, Fire Engineer Richard Sorley. Would you care to come up? Hopefully he could make it. There we go. Come on up, sir.
Slow for you. Okay. Until they all get in and you go. All right. Repeat after me. Raise your right hand. I, Richard Sorley,
I, Richard Sorley,
having been promoted
having been promoted
to the rank of fire engineer
to the rank of fire engineer
in the village of Oak Lawn,
in the
county
village
of Cook,
the village of Oak Lawn, county of Cook,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of fire engineer
of fire engineer
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Would you like to introduce any family while you're up here?
Just my mom and my son Ricky in the front row there.
Hello.
And the rest of the family in the back.
Thank you. Chief, care to say anything?
Sure. Just quickly, as chief, I just want to thank the village board, thank Mayor Dr. Burry, and thank Village Manager Deachin for the support, allowing us to promote Engineer Sorley. He's served the village of Oak Lawn since August 15, 2005, and has continually developed himself professionally. And that's been a great thing, and that's allowed him to make himself eligible for this promotion. And he works hard every day. And he's also one of our mechanics that keeps all of our equipment running. So, Rich, want to say anything?
No, I'm good. Thank you very much.
And you guys don't have to stay. You could feel free to leave. Don't feel like you have to. Thank you. Very nice to meet you guys. Item 6, I'd like a motion to postpone that till the next meeting.
So made, Mayor.
Thank you. Trustee Vorder made that motion.
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Stalker. Any discussion? Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. 8 is a request to approve the closing of 55th Court at 94th Street on Saturday, June 22nd, from 2 p.m. to 3:15 p.m. for the 39th Annual Chicago Association of Holy Name Society Spiritual Assembly Mass at St. Gerald Catholic Church. May I have a motion on 7, please?
Motion to approve.
Trustee Desmond made that motion. Do I have a second? Thank you, Trustee Mallow. Any discussion? Let's call the vote, please.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. We have item 8, a request to approve a change in the Cubmobile Derby. This was originally approved for June 29th, 2019 at the April 9th, 2019 Board of Trustees meeting. They'd like to move it to July 13th, 2019. May I have a motion, please, on item 8?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. That was Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you very much. Ms. Harker, were you here for public comments? Okay, you have to sign up a few minutes before it starts. Is it about a specific agenda item?
Yes, probably, no, I don't know for sure.
I'll give you time at the end of the meeting. Is that okay? Thank you very much.
Call the roll.
Let's call the roll,
All in
please.
favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. Item 9, a request to approve the St. Germain Carnival to be held August 22nd through the 25th at 9711 South Colon Avenue. May I have a motion on 9, please?
Motion to approve.
Trustee Warder made that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Stalker. Any discussion? Let's call that vote, please.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. 10, approval of meeting minutes for the executive session minutes 2019-04 dated April 9th, 2019. May I have a motion on 10, please?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. That was Trustee Stalker, seconded by Trustee Mallow. Any discussion? Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. 11 is approval of meeting minutes for the regular meeting minutes 2019-10 dated May 28th, 2019. May I have a motion, please, on 11?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Trustee Warder made that motion, seconded by Trustee Stalker. Any discussion? Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. We have new business by village trustees. Trustee Desmond.
Thank you, Mayor. I would just like to remind everybody about our annual 4th of July parade. If anybody would like to participate, or if there's any business out there would like to take part in the parade, they can call Lindsay Heilig at 708-499-7775. So I think there are still a few spots available in the parade. And as usual, it will take place at 10 a.m. on July 4th, down 95th Street. Thank you.
Thank you. District 3, Trustee Mallow.
Yes, Mayor, I just have one thing. It's in regards to NICOR's work being done down 99th Street and throughout the village. They are appearing to put some sod back into the locations that they've taken care of just recently. We're not quite there yet, but hopefully that can get done soon, because residents are waiting for their sod to come back to their beautiful houses as we get this nice weather.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Just more lawn to mow, though.
Absolutely.
Thank you. District 4.
Yeah,
Trustee
Mayor,
Porter.
just a little bit of upgrade on 95th and Pulaski. I had the opportunity to walk the property. There were many bulldozers and equipment there. I talked with the project manager. They're moving ahead full steam, and I start to see the parking lot will be completed and start on the construction of the buildings. It's an exciting development in the District 4.
That's
Thank
good.
you.
And we're looking forward to some announcements soon on it, I hope.
I hope.
Okay, District 5.
Nothing at this time, thank you.
District 6.
Nothing this evening.
Thank you. 13, Village Managers Report. Larry?
Additional items, Mayor.
Thank you. Item 14 is the consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are routine or have been brought forward at the direction of the Board of Trustees and will be enacted with one motion. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. A is Ordinance 1911-25, an ordinance amending and granting a special use permit to allow for a body art establishment at 5520 West 95th Street, where Mamasius is the petitioner. B is an ordinance 1911-26, an ordinance amending certain sections of Title IX, Chapter 4, entitled Water and Sewer Regulations. C is ordinance 1911-27, an ordinance providing for the lease purchase by the Village of Oak Lawn for equipment from Siemens Industry Incorporated through financing with Siemens Public Incorporated in the approximate amount of $9 million. D is ordinance 1911-28, an ordinance providing for the issuance of not to exceed $15 million waterworks and sewerage revenue bonds for the purposes of providing funds for certain capital improvements to the combined waterworks and sewage system of the Village of Oak Lawn, providing for the collection, segregation, and distribution of revenues of said system, and authorizing the sale of said bonds to PNC Bank National Association. E is Resolution 1911-40, resolution authorizing the release of certain executive session minutes. F is Resolution 1911-41, a resolution authorizing an amendment to the formal pension funding policy for the Village of Oak Lawn, police and fire pension funds. G, Resolution 1911-42, a resolution approving the formal lease purchase agreement with Siemens Industries. H is Resolution 1911-43, resolution approving the formal lease purchase agreement with PNC Bank. I is a motion to approve after the Board of Trustees in Executive Session 2019, dated May 28, 2019, reviewed for release of closed meeting minutes, December 12, 2017, number 1714, January 9, 2018, number 1801, January 23, 2018, number 1802, April 10, 2018, number 1805, May 22, 2018, number 1806, June 12, 2018, number 1807, August 14th, 2018, number 1808, October 23rd, 2018, number 1809, December 11th, 2018, number 1810, January 8th, 2019, number 1901, January 22nd, 2019, number 1902, and February 12th, 2019, number 1903, that the need for confidentiality still exists. May I have a motion, please, on 14?
Motion to approve, Mayor.
Thank you. Trustee Warder made that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Stalker. Any discussion?
Yes, Mayor, I would request that items C, D, G, and H be removed from the consent agenda.
Okay. Very good. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Phelan. Any discussion? Okay, we're calling the vote then on everything except,
I'd like to remove something as well.
yes, I'm sorry.
Item F.
Item F like Frank. Okay. And we have motion on F. Is there a second on that? I don't need that, do I? Oh, okay. So we're just going to make a motion then to approve the remaining consent agenda items. Okay. Thank you. Trustee Mallow?
Well, we
We already have a motion to approve.
Yeah, okay.
So we're just taking a vote. Call the roll.
Okay, calling the vote on everything except C, D, G, H, and F.
Trustee Stalker,
Yes.
Trustee Desmond,
Yes.
Trustee Phelan,
Yes.
Trustee Vorder,
Yes.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Sorry for the confusion. And C, ordinance 1911-27, an ordinance providing for the lease purchase by the Village of Oak Lawn, equipment from Siemens Industry Incorporated through financing with Siemens Public Incorporated in the amount of $9 million. May I have a motion, please?
Mayor, I would like to put this in the hands of the council here.
So,
Okay.
we have C and D, that we had a final change on, so we just need to approve C and D as presented, and if we approve C and D, then we won't need to do G and H, so right now, C is before the board.
Okay, so we have a motion on C, please?
Motion made.
Trustee Warder made that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Stalker. Any discussion? And this is item C. Let's call the vote, please.
Trustee Stalker,
Yes.
Trustee Desmond,
Yes.
Trustee Phelan,
Yes.
Trustee Vorder,
Yes.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, and item D, this is ordinance 1911-28, an ordinance providing for the issuance of not to exceed $15 million waterworks and sewage revenue bonds for the purposes of providing funds for certain capital improvements to the combined waterworks and sewage system of the Village of Oak Lawn, providing for the collection, segregation, and distribution of revenues of said system, and authorizing the sale of said bonus or bonds to PNC Bank National Association. May I have a motion on D?
Motion to approve.
Trustee Vorder made that motion, seconded by Trustee Stalker. Any discussion? Let's call the vote, please.
Trustee Stalker,
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mello?
So gentlemen, I've been informed that G and H are moot at this point. No vote needs to be taken on those items. They were placed there out of an abundance of caution with respect to the water meter financing. All the approvals required to authorize the financing were covered in the items just approved. Is that correct, council?
Yes, we're all set. So
Thank
they're
you very
okay.
much.
They're moved now, G&H. We just have F.
I know. And item 14F, like Frank, Resolution 1911-41, a resolution authorizing an amendment to the formal pension funding policy for the Village of Oak Lawn Police and Firefighter Pension Funds. We have motion on F, please.
I want to discuss it.
We need a motion and then second, then discuss.
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Trustee Phelan made that motion, seconded by
Second.
Trustee Stalker. And Trustee Phelan, discussion?
Yes, I just wanted to talk about the Finance Committee meeting we had last week where we covered a lot of items, but as we've been seeing and dealing for the last 15 years, the pension issue is the big elephant in the room. And as Brian lays out nicely in a summary here, we went from funding our pensions about $1.2 million a year to currently 8.6 this year. And the amendment, Brian, it's not clear. I want to make it clear for everybody what the total funding will be in the two pensions next year.
Next year, it'll be 9.6 million.
And what percentage of our total budget is that, exclusive of water?
Our general fund is approximately 58 million.
So we're talking.
So about 16%, I
Yeah.
think that is.
So, and again, this is not the fault of police and firemen. That's not the point. It's the issue of pensions, and they're going to destroy all of us. That's the reality of the world. They are not something that are going to work moving forward, not just for governments, but for all entities. And we are doing our level best to keep up with this, but despite putting 16 to 20% of our budget in, we're still at best going to be 50% funded. There's no legitimate way we can fund these pensions unless we're going to double the taxes of every resident in Oak Lawn. People need to know that. So we need help from the state. How many times we've talked about this, Larry, Mayor, trustees, and we just aren't getting it. So, again, this is not about individuals, departments. This is about a retirement system that almost every private sector organization exited decades ago because they were bankrupted by them. Airline, auto, steel. And the government sector is about the only place that they're left. And we're not talking about taking away benefits from people who have earned them. We're talking about moving forward rational, sane changes that allow us to provide street resurfacing, all of the things that we need to do to make our village a desirable place to live, and more importantly, to keep people from moving out, because that's the real danger we're seeing here. You know, somebody posted something today about a house in Kenilworth on the North Shore worth $1.75 million. And the real estate tax is somewhere in the area of $40,000. And you could get that same house in Sanibel Island, Florida, or actually a mansion of similar size for $15,000 in real estate taxes and no income tax. Now, who in their right mind is going to stay here? And that's current tax rate. If you're seeing what's coming out of the state now, they're taxing everything. And we're sitting here concerned, are we going to get, not that we want to see those taxes raised, but are we going to get any of those to help with our funding? Because I think this board has done a great job for the last 15 to 20 years, cutting, and it's never been, it's not an easy thing. At one point, we had, Larry, 460 employees, and now we have 310.
289.
280, and very few of those were people that were fired or let go. That was through attrition and consolidation. So there's not much more that this board or this organization can do as far as cost cutting. I mean, that's the reality of the world. And we need some help, and all I'm asking for people, and not many of you here, but people people watching at home, when and if you can talk to your state legislators or reach out to them and let them know we need help, because we're drowning, figuratively and literally, depending on the weather. So I just wanted to say thank you, Brian, doing a great job here. It's a tough thing to do. But again, we're putting almost 20% of our budget into retirement for employees. And people in this town, like everywhere else, are struggling to pay their bills. So I just wanted to make sure everyone was aware of that. Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, Tom. Any other discussion on that? I just want to add, I want to commend the staff here for finding ways and this board for finding ways to continue these excellent services residents expect. It's important to do that. It adds to quality of life, and we're committed to it. But it gets harder and harder, and you got to get more and more creative. So, shop Oak Lawn. That's all I got to say.
Sandy, if I could just.
Trustee Border.
Yeah, Sandy, myself, you, Larry Deachin, have been down to Springfield at least 3 or 4 years in a row and sat with our legislators who are the cause of this problem and the solution to this problem. And we have said exactly the same arguments, Tom, that you have made, and it seems to fall on deaf ears because there are no solutions that we as a board in the Village of Oakland can do to solve this problem. Just trying to keep funding it as best we can. They have to listen. They really have to listen. And we'll go down again and try it again, man.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will.
Mayor, could I just add one other thing?
Brian?
This board started, as Tom Miledge summarized, if the board had not done what we did 7 years ago, this fund would be in far worse shape. And I think it's important for the board to know our fund is very similar to the city of Wilmette. So it's not, as Tom said, this is not about, the south side or the north side. It's through the entire state. And it's just a very difficult thing to catch a 7% long-term rate of return and a 3% increase in everyone's pension every year. It's just a tough nut to catch.
Numbers
So
don't work, do they? Trustee Desmond,
they're challenging.
yeah.
I just wanted to follow up on something that Trustee Vorderer said, and that it's falling in deaf ears. It does. It seems to be, but they will listen to the people. They listened when and there was uproar when they spoke about raising the tax on pop by a penny. They raised gas by 19 cents, and nobody's saying a word. Complete silence. So I think first off, people need to get their priorities right. We can live without pop. We need gas to go to work.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. The stuff's going to kill you.
it will.
So, people need to be as mad and upset about, raising the tax on gas and property taxes and every other type of tax. And, get over the pop. We can live without it. Get as mad about everything else as you are about your soda. That's all I got to say.
Mayor, can I add one more thing? Brian's microphone cut out right when he gave the comparable community Wilmette. What he said was, this is not an issue of, say, geez, Oak Lawn is down in the dumps and probably not doing well. We're comparable to one of the most wealthy cities in the state of Illinois. So I just want to make sure if people didn't hear you.
Well, and I think the other thing is when Tom, again, some of this goes back 14 years, but this is a professionally managed fund. We have two very good boards, both on fire and police. It's managed by Morgan Stanley. And if this fund can't make it, I truly am worried about the entire state. So it's not just Oak Lawn to repeat what we just said, but it's throughout the entire state.
Thank you.
But Brian, can you just explain a little bit better? We went from 1 million to 8 million. And, why are we not seeing, we're increasing the funding. So why aren't we catching up more?
Well, the biggest reason, Tim, is because one of the issues is that the funds are limited to 60%, 65% actually, that can be put in equities. And we've gone through a period of time where we've had the interest rates dropping, so we've had a fair bond market. And in addition to that, we've had a lot of early retirements. So we just have, I guess, short answer is you have a lot of actuarial assumptions. We've had a decent number of losses. And just to give the board an idea, we have a 7% rate of return. That's our target every year. Last year, we lost 6%. So that means we actually we were off by 13%. And I'd be happy to have Bob Reitz from Letterbuck and actuary. But I think the board kind of understands it. There's just been a lot of things working against us, Tim. And we're not worried about, or at least I'm not worried about immediate pensions for the officers that are, and the firemen that are going to retire in the next 10 years. You're worried about the new hires. That's the concern.
There's a more fundamental thing that's behind all that. Before you get into rates of return and did we have a bad quarter and whether it's Morgan Stanley or Merrill Lynch, the fundamental problem is if you and I are in this workforce and you and I put money into a retirement account and that money goes into the market, stock market, bond market, same market, not some magical municipal government market, the same market. New York Stock Exchange, the TV, up and down, crazy stock market. If my portfolio goes down 50% because the market crashes, which has happened 3 or 4 times in the last 15, 20 years, but magically the people whose money is in pension funds doesn't go down because they continue to take the money out, it continues to increase, their benefits increase, the cost of living goes up, they're getting bumps and raises and all these other things, it's absolutely impossible. It does not, there's nobody that can show you that it makes sense. And the only people that it works for are the people who are getting the pensions. And that's why they rightfully and understandably defend them to the death, because they have the greatest thing going. The problem is we all have to fund our own retirements and those retirements. And when they're going into the same stock market and there's no effect, there's no cut, there's no reduction, market corrects 20% here, but the pensions go up 5%, 3%. And I don't mean the values, I mean the payouts. The values of those pension funds are going down because the market goes down. So the money goes down, but the money going out does not go down. And you just have this incredible divergence. And it's a death spiral. We are going to be out of money. It's just a matter of, it's not if, it's when. And if we don't get some relief and people don't start getting rational, like Tim said, if you don't start screaming at your legislators, because we don't have the power. It's the state legislature that does not listen to us, that does not acknowledges the problem but kicks it down the road, or allows us to fund to 2040, 2050. And they think that's a solution. That's not a solution. Somebody entering the workforce today as a policeman or policeman, firewoman is going to have a great job regardless. Even if we were to put them into a retirement plan that's more like the private sector, a 403B, a 401K type plan, okay, they're still going to get great benefits, great health care, great pay, great increases. It's just that other thing that absolutely is sinking us that has to be adjusted. And people have to know that. We are out of answers.
Tim?
No, Laura, you said how many employees does the village have?
Well, as we started this century, we were slightly over 400 employees, and we're down to roughly 289 filled positions.
Okay, so that's the payroll, right? 289. And how many more are collecting a pension? I mean, we have in effect two payrolls. We have a working payroll.
We are paying more men and women who are retirees than those that we pay who are employed and working. So a taxpayer, as Tom said, Trustee Phelan said correctly, we're funding two workforces.
Right.
One that works and a larger one that's retired.
Yeah, thank you. Okay,
They're gonna get bigger.
Bigger,
it is.
living longer.
So
And the pot is getting smaller.
Yes.
taxpayers are tapped out. There's very little more we can give. Yeah, and in my conversations with the legislature, individually, they understand, but collectively, I don't know what's going on. It's really bad. And until we see changes to the structural problem, yeah, it's pretty scary. And it's pretty scary if you're committed to providing services and stuff.
Mayor, if I could, just a brief comment, and I know Scott sitting in the back row knows this. Oregon, I would consider a fairly liberal state of the 50 states in our union. They're making adjustments to their pension plan, requiring retirees to put more of a contribution for the very reason that the benefit that they receive in a defined benefit plan far exceeds what the normal cost should be that's going into the system. So there are other states that are making changes, as Trustee Phelan referred to. And if you're talking about best practices like industry, that's what Illinois should be looking. to their colleagues in the other states and reaching out to see what's being done. So it's, other states are addressing the issue positively, and that's what you've been asking your delegation to do.
Thank you. Let's call the vote on number F, item F.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Board.
15 is Resolution 191144, resolution waiving the competitive bidding requirements and authorizing the purchase of two 2020 utility police interceptors. May I have a motion on 15,
Motion to
please?
approve, Mayor.
Trustee Vorder made that motion, seconded by Trustee Stalker. Any discussion? Call that vote, please.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Motion passes.
16, Resolution 191145, a resolution waiving the competitive bidding requirements and authorizing the purchase of three 2020 utility police interceptors. May I have a motion on 16, excuse me. Trustee Vorder made that motion, seconded by
Second.
Trustee Stalker again. Any discussion? Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Passes.
Thank you. 17, trustee and resident committees. Trustee Phelan, you and Trustee Olenichek.
Yes, thank you, Mayor.
Okay.
As I sent a note to the board today, and I think everybody's aware, our resident and trustee committees, given the change with Trustee Mello's election, it's just a natural course of action, but there's a lot of areas we can improve our resident committees. There's several vacancies, a couple of deaths. And the mayor and I have talked at length about looking at some of these committees that have been around 50, probably Terry, 50 years, 40 years. I mean, going back to the point where, some of them may not serve a purpose anymore. Maybe we can look at ways of combining, consolidating, again, under the umbrella of can we do things better, more efficiently, provide better service to the community, perhaps at a lower cost, and engage more people. Because again, several of the people on these boards, their terms have expired and they're just being automatically renewed. Several are not really showing up, I'm sure, because they're disinterested. So I think it's just a time, I wanted to put it out there tonight for discussion, and then by next meeting, perhaps come back with a plan that everybody agrees to. So just wanted to get on the agenda for discussion.
Thank you very much. Any other comments on that?
Yeah, Tom, I only received your recommendations a half an hour before this meeting, so I only had a chance to skim them. First off, I thank you for putting the time and effort in to look at this. However, I have to disagree with some of your recommendations, and I would like to have some input and discuss some of these committees, okay, and your elimination of some of them and combining some of them. So we have an opportunity, we should talk about that. And we should probably do that in legal and legislative committee.
It's perfectly fine.
Okay, well, Tim, would you you're the chairperson of that committee, would you call a meeting of legal to discuss?
Of course. Yeah, we can discuss that.
Thank you.
So it's just discussion, so there's no action to be taken, is that correct, trustee?
That's what I made clear in the email I
Yes.
sent to you, yeah.
Well, you could, since it's on the agenda, you can make a recommendation to send it to the Legislative and Ethics Committee for discussion and
Okay,
then bring it
so
back to the board.
trustee Vorder made that recommendation. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, trustee Desmond. Any discussion on that? Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. 18 tonight, village clerk's report. Jane?
Okay. Approval of semi-monthly disbursements, number 2019-11D, dated June 11, 2019, in the amount of $7,660,454.33.
Thank you. May I have a motion on 18A, please?
Motion to pay the bills.
Trustee Vorder made that motion, seconded by,
Second.
going to give that to trustee Mallow. Thanks. Any discussion? Let's call that vote.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Couple more things, Mayor. Our next summer concert will be this Sunday, June 16th, featuring the Hat Guys. Concert begins 7 p.m. and hope to see you out there. Hat Guys, they're a blast, so you'll have a ball. Bring your dads with you, and happy Father's Day to all. That's it.
Thank you. Item 19, Village President's Report. 19A is a request to approve the local liquor advisory board referral for the Class IV liquor license for Sushi Time, 4959 West 95th Street. This was a 4-0 vote to approve in District 3. May I have a motion on 19?
You can take A and B together.
Okay, and B is ordinance 191129, ordinance decreasing the number of Class I liquor licenses and increasing the number of Class IV liquor licenses that can be issued in the village. Sushi Time, located at 4959 West 95th Street. This is 19A and B. May I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve.
Trustee Vorder made that motion. Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you. Trustee Desmond is our second. Any discussion? Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Passes.
Thank you. Item 19C, a request to approve the local liquor advisory board referral for a Class IV liquor license for TC Pub, 9700 South Cicero Avenue. This is a 4-0 vote to approve in District 3. May I have a motion on 19C? And then, okay, D, ordinance 191130, an ordinance decreasing and increasing the number of Class IV liquor licenses that can be issued in the village. TC Pub, located at 9700 South Cicero Avenue. Item C and D, please. May I have a motion?
Motion approved.
Trustee Mallow made that motion, seconded by
Second.
Trustee Vorder. Any discussion? Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Motion passes.
E is ordinance 191131, an ordinance amending Title III, Chapter 3, Section 6 of the Oaklawn Village Code pertaining to liquor license classifications. This is the Class U license. Made motion on 19E.
I'd make that motion.
Thank you. Trustee Desmond made that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Trustee Vorder, thank you. Any discussion?
Yeah. Didn't we do something like this?
We did, a little something extra is looking to have cookie decorating parties for women and other people after hours.
But did we not create a license?
We did, but
by-
it doesn't, it applies only to painting.
Oh,
So we have to add the cookie decorating.
but do we have to,
We do.
like somebody wants to do jigsaw puzzles? Do we need it?
You know,
Keep adding?
council was concerned if it's too general,
Okay,
it'll open it up for problems, and council requested this specific language.
okay.
And,
Thank you.
Thank you, trustee.
Bring it back.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? Let's call the vote on E, please.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Item F, a request to approve the local liquor advisory board referral for a Class U liquor license for a Little Something Extra Bakery at 4616 103rd Street. This was a 4-0 vote to approve. Maria and William Veal are the petitioners in District 6. And then we have an ordinance 191132, an ordinance increasing the number of Class U liquor licenses that can be issued in the village. Little Something Extra Bakery located at 4616 West 103rd Street. May I have a motion on F and G?
Motion to approve.
Trustee Vorder made that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Trustee Phelan made that motion. Any discussion? And is the petitioner here on that? I'm not sure I saw them. Okay, let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Under General Village Matters, I just want to thank our legislators. It's been a whirlwind in Springfield, and, you know, I have to say, they kept Oaklawn on the minds of, as they were looking for revenue, and we gave them a list of projects, and they were pretty responsive. I just want to thank them for that. I'm going to yield the rest of my time to Mrs. Harker. Mrs. Harker, you've been waiting patiently this whole meeting. I'll give you 3 minutes of public comments, ma'am. And if you could let us know if you're an Oaklawn resident. Thank you.
I'm sorry I had to be here tonight. It's something that was unusual. It happened to us, and I'd like to read what I have written. My name is Mary Lou Harker. I live at 9201 Monitor, District 2, but I also inherited the house at 5317 West 95th Street. It has an historical plaque in front designating it as such. Because the house is on the alley, a two-car garage with a coach house is on top. It has been vacant for a long time. On February the 2nd, I was called by tenants in the front house that a pipe had bursted in the garage, and they didn't know how to shut the valve. But a wonderful policeman named McDonald took care of it for me. I have no tenants there since October of 17. In May, the tenants in the front house moved and left too many things in the alley for a normal pickup. When I arrived, I was given a report on the property, read the other side. That wasn't true. I immediately took care of it, and the only thing I left is I had no renter's permit. I explained I never had to have one. The very first time I paid for one, they returned my fee out of consideration for the Harker name. But now I come before you with my complaint. Can anyone on the board tell me why Dolores' Interiors, the congressman's office, and the comic book store has been empty for years, and the trustee for that district did nothing about it? The trees are growing behind her building in the alley. All her windows are broken. Fumes are coming from the basement. Her building is on my lot line. How long have these stores been vacant? And the house on the alley, Minnick, with his trees and leaves and open garage cans that should go on the street in front of his house. You finally wrote him up, and now we have a clean alley, but a severe broken one. Our alley has not been paved for years, like all the rest of the alleys south of 95th Street. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mrs. Harker. Okay, any other discussion, Larry? We're good? Okay, I'm told item 22 is not necessary. Is that correct, council?
Correct.
We don't need the exec.
Yes.
Brian, you don't have anything? No. No, we're good.
Okay, very good. So item 21, motion to adjourn, please.
So made.
Trustee Warder made that motion, seconded by
Second.
trustee Stalker. Any discussion? Let's call that vote, please.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Yes, thank you.
Time is it, Sam?
The time is exactly 8:12.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Paul.
Larry and Bert.
All right.
Make that.
Not too bad.
That's the story.
That might be a month.
Month?
Yes.